Thank you very much, Kweku. I must say we have all been following developments in the sub-region, and when the news broke of the intention by the three countries, namely Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, to break away, um, it wasn't something that was good to the ear, especially being a former member of the community parliament. I have uh, people in all these countries that we made acquaintances during my 9 years of stay in the ECOWAS parliament. Uh, it's sad to see how far these countries, together with us, have come in all these years since the 1970s when ECOWAS was formed. And for whatever misunderstandings and for whatever the reasons are for them to just decide that they were breaking away, it's a little heartbreaking.
But do you think the authorities of heads of state, since this news broke, Council of Ministers meeting, they are putting in much effort to really address this situation?
I believe that the heads of states, as we all know, are also faced with major challenges around this time. And so it hasn't been easy, probably, getting a summit to happen for them to table these concerns and reach a decision. I hear it's going to happen, and I'm very sure cool heads will prevail. We should all be mindful of the fact that the issues at stake here is not just to do with the states involved, it is actually to do with the peoples. The people of this region, by and large, we are one people. If you take a tribe like the Fulani, you can find them across almost all the West African countries. You can find Fulanis in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Sierra Leone, in Senegal, as far west and as far east and as far north and south as possible. There are those who also live on the borders of these countries who it just took a colonial power to draw a line on the map and separated family from family. In Ghana, you have, when you go to Pada, you will see on the Ghana side, on the Burkina side, and almost all the border towns, Hamle, Moku, you see people on either side of the border who are families. I'm sure the same applies to Nigeria, to Niger, Benin, to Mali and Niger. I mean, it's been like that. There's been families living across these borders who relate to each other. And because of our huge geographical distance between us and the north, because of the Sahara Desert, we feel together as one people more than us and say the North or the Central African or Eastern African people. And so we've lived together over a long time very well. And it's very sad to see, in this case, families now wanting to cross to families, they may now begin to require to go and even process visas. The ECOWAS community has come a long way since its inception. The opportunity for people to move around the region freely, even transhumans. Here, people bring cattle from as far as Niger and Mali down into Ghana, either for commerce or for grazing purposes, and across other borders. And suddenly, we will have to tighten laws to ensure that these things cannot happen. It's heartbreaking.
Press, I want to find out from you again. By now, you might have heard a founding father and a former president of Nigeria having written an open letter to the authorities of heads of state. Your take on that, because I believe by now you might have gone through the content.
Well, it's heartwarming to see that we still have one of the founding fathers of ECOWAS. I knew General Gowon I knew of him as a child, growing up when the Biafra War and you would hear as children joking, shouting to Oshugu that Gowon is coming and he should run away, that kind of thing. And to be an adult approaching 60 and now still to have General Gowon amongst the living, I was very happy to read from him. And he's asked for just 3 simple things that basically say ceasefire and regroup and discuss the issues. Whoever has applied sanctions on these countries, release them. Whoever has said that I'm leaving, pull out your letter, and now let the summit of all the 15 heads sit and discuss these matters. Fashion out a way forward that does not involve breaking up ECOWAS as an entity.
The authorities of heads of states have Saturday to have their summit. With all that is said, if they go according to it, do you think the sub-region will be more united?
Well, I believe what the former head of state of Nigeria has put out is a very good piece of advice. Now we are in the midst of a crisis as a community, and it's important to let cool heads prevail. It's clear from what we are seeing that if the 2 sides, as ECOWAS on one side and this tripartite group on the other side, decide that they are sticking by their position, then clearly ECOWAS as we know it will have to withdraw its map because it will have to exclude these 3 very big nations. But decide that they are sticking by their position, then clearly ECOWAS as we know it will have to withdraw its map because it will have to exclude these 3 very big nations. But if they meet on Saturday and they are able to come to some conclusions which will be taken into account what General Gowon has admonished them to do, I am sure we will see something fruitful coming out of that meeting.
Honorable Opare Ansah, thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you, and keep up doing the good work that you've been doing for our community. Most appreciated.